Kabisa, one people, muko sawa? Amazingness. Sasa ndio hiyo, Tuesday, ndio imefika na ikifika unajua tunakuaga hapa kukupeleka na step. I'm holding it down for Willis Raburu, bado wako away. But unajua we do it each and every Tuesday. Sasa, if you have been in this country, umekuwa ukiona vitu zinafanyika. Bana wanaume tunalipishwa ushuru ya kukua na watoto. It's a crazy happening huku nje maze. But anyway, hope your morning is amazing. Uko poa wherever you are, si tuko poa. Kabaridi ka Nairobi kana kutishia maisha, don't worry yourself. Tuko hapa kukuchangamsha. Let's introduce ourselves. We start with you, Bobby. Wagwan.
Wagwan.
Uko fiti?
Mambo, good morning.
How's wiki imekuaje?
Wiki imeanza tu jana.
No, wiki yako ilianza Tuesday.
Since last
Tuesday
time.
to Tuesday. Yes.
Okay, nimekuwa amazing. Mimi si unanijua tu, kupumzika na kuchill.
All right.
Yeah.
Eating nice though.
Lazima nisikie poa. Hiyo ndio the motive in life.
Do you, Georgina?
What up?
How are you?
Niko salama sana. Niulize Wagwan.
Wagwan.
Not Nagwan. Yes, sir.
You good?
I'm good. I know, right? Not Nagwan.
Wiki imekuaje?
Imekuwa salama sana. I'm good.
Yes.
Family is great.
All right.
Like tuko sawa.
Highlight of the week?
Highlight of the week was my husband coming back from a long stay somewhere else.
Oh.
Yeah.
Niko jealous, man. Mimi tu nakuanga tu.
All right. Shauri yako. Mganga ajigangi.
Man.
You're here giving people advice. But anyway, DJ Rev.
Yeah, man.
Gabriel William Maunda.
Yes, I.
How are you, man?
Midea.
Karibu sana kwenye hii shughuli yetu.
Hapo sawa.
Si ndio?
Yeah.
The topic we're having today, sana inakuhusu sana.
Allah. Allah. I did not get the memo.
No.
That I am the subject matter. Yo.
You know, as DJs, as DJs and entertainers, this is something a lot of people go through, like the story upkeep ya mtoi. So actually, what we want to talk about today, watu wale mko mtaani, ni upkeep ya watoto. The happenings that have been everywhere and you've been seeing, watu wana complain sana. Upkeep has been made an extortion of sorts, in quotes. Is it a baby tax now that we are paying, or what is it? Or are we using our children to fight our battles? Say if you're the custodian parent, or if there's an English word for that, you want to punish the other parent by asking extremely high figures for the upkeep of the child, or setting unachievable standards for the other parents because of the whole idea of co-parenting. You know, while growing up, Sisi, I keep telling people that this generation we live today, we are the guinea pigs of today, because like co-parenting is something new, because during our parents' era, there was nothing like co-parenting. It was till death do us part, like you married and that's it. But right now, with everything that is happening, co-parenting is a norm. Living with a single parent is also a norm. Yeah. And we are learning through it. But in the learning, are we overdoing some things? Ama that is the way it's supposed to be. I start with you, Georgina. What do you think?
There's so many things to say about this topic. I think we are borderline very selfish, you know? When there's a child involved, first let us start. Are you able to raise a child? We are all able to make children. That's fantastic. But are you able to raise a child? Are you able to make sure that the basic needs of this child are met? Are you going to be a present parent? A lot of people don't think about that when you are, you know, in a situation where you're making a baby. You understand? You're not thinking about that. You're not thinking that this is a human being that is going to rely on you for quite a long time. Yeah? And I always tell people, whenever in doubt, you pray. But in this instance, there's a constitution. There's a whole Children's Act telling you your responsibilities, a whole 186 pages, you know? So, kuna vitu mingi sana hautaepuka when you do decide to have children. So first of all, ask yourself, do you want children? Start there. Yes.
DJ Rev.
Yes, sir.
Is it vitu zingine aziko textbook like at do I want children. Some things just happen. In the world we live in the world we're living in, some things just happen, and you know what? You're gonna be a dad. We're pregnant, man. So in a situation like that, what do you do? You know, let me frame it like this. Before getting getting a child, you see, we keep saying that when it's you and a girl, it's a boy-girl thing. But the moment a child is involved, it's no longer a boy-girl thing anymore. It's a parenting thing now. But this is a situation where people are getting into relationships without knowing each other, you know, and then the marriage does not work, and they separate, and now it becomes a tussle. It's a fight.
Yes, sir.
You know. Do you think tuna overdo in the sense that the things tunaitisha the other parent mwenye akaina mtoi, are we overdoing ama iko tu sawa hivi?
Tuna overdo. Nah, I think I don't know actually where we draw the line about where it's actually the child upkeep or malice and exploitation. Because I think for me, as in taking care of a child, the responsibilities of a child should not be just about finance aspect of it. You understand? And the problem about it, and the biggest tragedy about it, is that we have almost reduced the man figure or the father into actually just the provider. The role is just a provider. We see him as the provider. Whereas there's a couple of more other responsibilities that now a child needs from the father. Like maybe protection, security, just maybe a teacher, you know, a mentor, and just being there na CBC hapa, kubebeshwa mchanga na kila kitu, lazima kuwe hapo. Na there's a lot of things actually, and in religious circumstances, the priesthood of that home. Like now, the man can be all that, but right now it's being overdone. Like now, pregnancy imeanza kani kama trap. Like, oops, niko na nini. So na ukiangalia na ujue imekuwa ni kama ni bees. A lot of I have not seen a broke man amepelekwa children's court amepelekwa mbio. It's just these famous politicians and the billionaires and all of them. So kind of it's become, although there's also very genuine cases whereby that now as a man, this is the thing, when you know you have a child, nobody should be reminding you about your responsibilities. You know, also as a human being, I would have hated a scenario whereby my dad just saw me as an obligation. You understand? So I was brought up in a scenario where there was parental love from both my parents. So, and I will imagine a scenario whereby I want to accord that to my children as well. Yeah, man.
But you know, there is what you wish and there is what is reality.
Yeah.
You know, you'd wish everyone wants to be there for their children. Well, apart from the deadbeats. But everyone wants to be there for their child. But it gets to a point where now the two of you cannot be together and separation comes. But DJ Rev brings about a good point, Roberta. Do you think some people are getting pregnant to trap people? Like, unaangalia kuna door and now this is my jackpot.
Hata afadhali hiyo ni reason. Kuna watu hata wana have kids for no reason, as in, for nothing. Una get like hawalaikiani, ama anataka tu kukana yeye, not even for the money, like anataka tu chali asimwache ama. And this goes both ways because men are doing the same thing as well. And the problem is that we're having kids for the wrong reasons. Because by the way, before, like Georgina was saying, before even the thought of having a kid or keeping a kid or being with a kid even arises, there's so many things you need to think about. Like, are you selfless enough? Are you able to love someone else unconditionally? Like, is this a jokes, ama ex. Na si ati mpaka they turn 18. Parenthood ni forever, hata wakiwa 80 years old and you're still here. So are you ready to give yourself like that for someone else or to love someone else like that? I think most of us are not, and we're not willing to admit, and we're not seeing like it's okay. It's okay to be selfish and to just decide that you're not in a place where you want to have kids or you're going to have kids. But unfortunately, that's not the case and that's not what's happening. Saizi wase want to have kids for all the wrong reasons. And my problem is, let alone even the fighting and the tussling between the parents, it's what kind of situation are you creating for your offspring? Like, how are these kids gonna grow? What are they gonna become if this is how you're treating them as a parent? So I feel like tunafaa ku take a step back na tuende therapy. Na tujue, why are we doing this? By the way, inaka kama joke, but I promise you there's a girl somewhere who's saying, Leo, aki come home, nini, by next month, lazima, unaona. And, or there's a man saying, oh, damn, nikim get, lazima. Ina affect mtoi more than ina affect everyone. Because you see what happens is when the kid is finally here, the guy can just decide he doesn't want to participate in being a parent. And then the lady is left alone. She has to fend for the kid. She has to do these things. And then, so now when she asks for upkeep, Neo fighting back and forth, and then the guy starts to feel exploited when he's supposed to be taking care of his kid, but he doesn't want to because he doesn't understand why he should be giving money because napeana pesa za mtoto ama zako ndo uende out na mabeshte. Unajua, hizo vitu zote, like Georgina said again, we're just being selfish. We're not thinking about how do we want this kid to grow? Why did we have this kid? How are we going to take care of this kid? Parents are putting their needs before their kids, but it's like they're forgetting once you bring this other person into earth, you have to now take responsibility. You have to be very aware and very conscious about how the person is going to grow up and how you're going to take care of them and the kind of environment especially that you give to them. Like, sisi tumegrow, kama mimi personally, nime grow up situation. I never, siku kwa hiyo situation ya co-parenting, my parents were together, but they were always, you know, fighting and nini. And I just wish I grew up in a different environment where I was able to see love in a different way. I know, and I feel like it would have impacted maybe the way I view relationships in a different way. But saizi niko, mimi nimesoma hizo vitu zote, nimeenda therapy, nimelearn, but naona hazi work out venye naeza taka zi work out. So you see, it puts me at a disadvantage even when I want to start getting into relationships and dating and knowing people, because I have the fear that in case I have a kid, am I going to be able to give them the environment that they deserve, or am I going to repeat the things I saw growing up or the things that I see within my environment? So before having kids, just be conscious, because for a moment it stops being about you and now you have to give yourself selflessly. So is that something you're ready for?
All right. Wale mko nyumbani, let me bring you on board. Kama uko na experience yote na mtu wako, probably amko pamoja na mnasumbuana about this whole upkeep thing, unamwambia wewe tu mado ya mtoi hataki kutuma, ama kama wewe ni chali na una feel mimi na overuse, mimi naitishwa do mingi nye sina, hebu nitumie message yako, ukitaka usiache jina kwenye you don't have to, no pressure, 22422 jiachilie hapo now, you don't need kuacha jina yako, just give us your experience. What is that you're going through sahi? How did you overcome it? Ama are you in it bado mpaka sahi? Are you looking for a solution? What is it that you think you can ask kusaidia kujibiwa hapa? Au sio? 22422 jiachilie hapo, pia #daybreak kama unataka pia kuchapanisha ngori kwa Twitter ama Facebook. Cheza kiwewe, sawa? So, Georgina, I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
There is what we would what wish for, you see, that to know this person before we get married or before we have this kid, you know. But you see, we don't live in a vacuum or some sort of utopia. We live in this real world, and we know things do happen, you know. We have things inverted, that we start dating people to know them instead of knowing people then start dating them. We have things inverted. Last week I said we start wrong. We keep wondering where did things go wrong, but no, they didn't go wrong. We started wrong. That is where we are right now. Okay. So we are dealing with a situation where there is a child already, and the two of you have realized you are not compatible. You've separated, and you're asking for upkeep. What are the parameters that should be considered before you're asking for, send me this? I need that.
Like I said, as human beings, we're the ones who are creating these gray areas, you know. Immediately you tell me there's a child involved, everything else is a non-issue. Like I moved to strike, you know. So I'm just going to sit down, either we first involve a lawyer, because with the processes in terms of like child support. So your lawyer is going to sit down with my lawyer, then we're going to say this and this and this is what is required within the law. Because in the Children's Act, every parent is equally responsible for this child. So what do you mean by equally responsible? You know, if you're making 50,000 to 100 and I'm making 50,000 to 100, we're going equal, you know. But like again, what he said, it's not only money. You know, there are many other rights and responsibilities that I have towards that children. If I live in a culture where there is female genital mutilation, yeah, I need to protect my female child from that. That is a responsibility that is left to, let's say, the custodial parent, you know. I need to protect that child from drugs. I need to protect that child from discrimination. All of that is part of my 50% responsibility, you understand? So it is me and you, sit down, this and this is what needs to be done. And all of this should be on the basis of the child's basic needs being met. It is on the basis of, yani, mtoto hakuna kitu anakosa. Be it mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, everything. So once the child is involved, it doesn't matter kama tunakorofishana, it doesn't matter kama tunachukiana. This child has to be taken care of, regardless.
Well, DJ Rev, this is true. Yeah. Like, this child needs to be taken care of, regardless of anything. Sindio, what I'm asking is, at what extent? Now, where does it stop now being about the child, and now you start feeling this is extortion, or this is me being asked what I cannot deliver, you know?
Yeah.
Because in my thinking, or in the experiences we've seen around here, vijana wana complain nuko inje like, yo, I am being tasked to do things I cannot afford. She wants to take our child to this school. She wants to take our child
Actually,
to this neighborhood.
That's where I wanted to jump in. So, for example, let's say, again, you're earning 100,000, I'm earning 100,000. There is no way I'm going to wake up and decide I'm going to look for admission in a school that's asking for 600,000 per term. That's ridiculous, you know, and expect you to pay that money.
But it is happening.
But it is happening. You know, now that is extortion. That's the part where you will have to take that woman to court, or you will have to take that custodial parent to court, because I think that's now extortion, in my opinion, because you need to also be a very reasonable person, yeah? School is a basic need. In fact, Constitution is some free basic education. Modern parenting, ndio tunataka kupeleka watoto private. No problem, I do not deny. But it has to be well within our financial, you know, capabilities.
Yes.
You know, as in, sasa wanza kupeleka mtoto, it's ridiculous. Now you sit down, and if it's not happening between you two, now you have to involve the courts.
True.
Yeah.
There's something Rev mentioned, that your role as a father should not be reduced to provision alone.
Yeah.
You know, you also need to be a teacher, a leader to this kid. Yeah. But you see, some people are using that also to punish the custodial parent. Yeah. Like, because I cannot be with this child, I will not send this money. You know, but the two of us can't be. You know, whether I wanted to be the leader and the father figure of this kid, but I can no longer do that because you're not living together. But now, in return, because we can't live together, there are men that now they will not send the money, they will not support the kid. What do you think about that?
I think it's very wrong, actually. When it gets to a point as a man, now you need to be compelled for a certain reason now to take care of your child. That is something that should be automatic, and I think as humans we shouldn't be that selfish. So the thing is, but if it gets to that point, then there's law. There's law whereby now, because I like the Constitution that he has pronounced himself very well about this matter. And that's why we have children courts, whereby they deal with matters, such disputes. And actually, they put the rights of the child first. You get. But there's something you had asked before about now. You know, this is the thing. Yeah? You know, before, kitambo, hizi vitu hazikuwa sana. Because dating was quite... ilikuwa nerefu.
Ilikuwa ya love.
Ilikuwa ya love. Actually, dating was for interviews. Speaking of intercourse.
Of course.
Some toy ni oops. Yeah. So as in, you get to that position whereby you have a child before you even know each other properly. So now kitambo mlikuwa mnakosana mkidate, mna solve, alafu tena mnapeana time, mnaachana mnarudiana. By the time mnakamkoona mkitumtoi mshajuana. You get, it's been a long time, but right now guys meet in a month, 2 weeks. Mtoi tayari asha happen, and get. Alafu pia sioni advert za CD siku hizi ka kitambo. So anyway, that's a
chill.
discussion.
Chill. Yeah, there was a whole entire campaign.
Both are you, hold it. It is 8 a.m. Hold it right there.
Not coming from me.
Obi, let's do this.
Leo si mimi niko na tabia mbaya.
I'm just saying. Okay. Tukirudi, unajua kuna watu wengi wanasikiaga hiyo story. I'll take you to court.
Yeah.
And now you freak out. Actually, it's in Willis. Bazu, more life. Amesema boy child should not fear going to court. In court, it's about facts, not emotions. Because it brings about the point where unaitishwa vitu abnormal. You know, there is this lifestyle you're living, and that's why I told DJ Rev tukianza, hii inamuhusu sana. As an entertainer, there is that life you put out there. You know, there is showbiz life that you show, and I am well off.
Kodubs na utatuma hey.
The life you're putting out a life there for the gram.
Yeah.
You know, but now this other parent looks at you and says, he's living large. My child should be doing the same. And they start threatening you. Watakuanika, they'll take you to court, and now you're afraid. You know? So in such a situation, when mtu anatishiwa maisha hivyo, anaogopa kwenda kotini, anaogopa kufanywa hivi, what would you say?
You know what I'd say? In parenting, do your part and keep your receipts. That's literally all that's required. Do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if the kid has eaten, the kid has gone to school, the kid is well taken care of, the kid has gone on vacation, the kid has fanya nini. Nakupigia nini wewe ukiwa Dubai? Nakuambia nini? Nakuuliza nini?
Let me ask you. Probably you go, I wish na huyu mtu akona familia ingine. Okay, and the children he's living with are in this school, posh school, they're living in a posh estate, but wewe hauko as a parent.
So who's taking care of the other kids?
Yes, ameoa, anaishi na wife na watu wengine. But uko na mtoi wake, lakini mtoi wako aishi maisha yenye hawa watoi wake wanaishi.
Mbona?
Is it because yes, baba watoi anaishi nao.
Why? That needs to happen.
No. Listen, kwanza hakufai kukuata na hiyo divide, like because these
you're
kids
not living together.
It doesn't matter. Because umeona ile meme ya ule mtoto mwenye ako nje ako kwa gari anakula pizza, alafu watoto wengine wako hapo kando wanamwangalia, alafu caption ni ati when your baby daddy comes to visit his kid, alafu watu wengine si wake. So wengine wakuli pizza, huyu wako pekee ndo anakula pizza. Listen, you can't do that because our toi venye wana grow, they're not gonna grow as step kids or watapatana na watakuwa siblings na wanapendana. And that's exactly what happened to me. Like I met my siblings when like 2 years ago, and sisi hatuna hiyo divide. Hiyo divide ni between ni parents wenye. So don't bring that enmity between us. Don't do that. Just if you have the capacity to take care of your kid, ile tu ya ukweli unaweza make sure watoto wako the same level, wanaenda the same like chuo wanafanya nini kwa uwezo wako. This is coming from your heart. You don't have, like DJ Rev said, you don't have to be compelled, amati asked, amati. Kama tu unaweza ukweli, fanya. Na kama uwezi, communicate. Hata kama uko na hii familia yako ingine yenye, co-parenting si lazima ikuwe about fighting na arguing na competition na drug situation kwa ground, hivyo ndo iko. But if you're watching this today, just understand that you can do better and you can learn and you can always grow. Na hizo mambo za kukuwa na rift between you, this is the person who's taking care of your kid. This is someone who's staying with your kid the whole time. And kama unaona anaku-extort ama anaku-exploit, si wewe uchukue mtoi, chukua mtoi ukae na yeye ndo uone hiyo 5,000 unatumanga inaweza fanya nini. Chukua mtoi hata 1 month uone, okay, nikilipa school fees hivi, nikitumanga hiyo 1,000 ya food inafika ngalini. Ndo ukwe hands on uweze ku understand, because unaweza kuwa unatuma 10k for real na dema na kushow hiyo 10k nilipeleka mtoi hosi, 3k consultation, 3k CG injection, 2k medicine, 1k tulitumia fare. mi mwenyewe nikaongeza 10k yangu juu mtu yali kwa nini na wewe uta understand, utaona ai nilitumia 10k jana nitumie 10k tena leo.
You know, a lot of people also, you don't realize what the child is going through. Simply because the child is not speaking up doesn't mean mtoto haoni what is going on.
Yes.
Mtoto usifikirie hajui his half sisters and brothers are living the life and you're struggling here with your mother. Now, can you imagine the emotional impact? You know, can you imagine the mental health issues that child is going to have growing up? That child is also going to go through rejection. Something that you guys are not thinking about because mommy issues, daddy issues. Yeah, and then you end up 20, 30 years down the line, that cycle has repeated itself.
True.
Why? Why
can't you? Kids had a healthy situation.
You don't. So that's the same model you're going to follow for the rest of your life. And that now becomes our culture. That becomes the people that we are. We need to be the ones, you know, putting a stop to it. Sawa?
Okay.
As in, tumekosana my friend. I know, it's cool. Lakini kama mtoto wako anaenda Breban, au wawili wako weka kwa nyumba yako, pia huyu ataenda kwa hiyo shule. Sawa? Kama watapata fees, hata huyu watapata fees. Alafu, mistaki unieke petrol kwa gari. No. It's no.
You'll do that.
Don't feed me.
Okay.
But everything that your child requires, itabidi tusaidiane. Itabidi you come through.
To add on to that point, as in if you feel exploited, ukienda kotini, there's an affidavit that you sign, it shows how much you earn. If you're being asked more than what you get, you know, the law is good because there's 50-50 custody or equitably provision of the child.
Yes.
And if I get 100,000, if I earn 100,000, and I have other children as well, like let's say 3 other children that I provide for, you cannot now come and claim for 50K,
no.
and then out you know lenja.
No.
It doesn't happen that way. So law as in it is equitable. So I can come to a court and then I say each chapana
over and above.
And get and as in I cannot afford. So this is the much I can get. If I can be able to provide 5,000 for this child, this is the much that I can give. You get. But as in even before we get to there, as in I would want for people, as in if you actually have decided to part ways and there's children involved, you just have this mature talk.
Yes.
And then the rest of the family can intervene. Both families can come in, and then just don't leave it for the boy and the girl, for the man and the woman. So as in now, there's people sit down, have a good talk, devoid of emotion. There's no hakuna emotions. So hawa watoindo kwa hapa. No pulling through, because mkipull hawa watoindo wanaumia. Unaona? So mnakaa chini mnadecide hawa watoi mnaachana, hawa watoi wataishiaje before if it gets to a court of law. Because mtoi ni wetu, si unafikanga mahali ambapo mtoi wa society.
Yeah.
The child is for the society. So now the society, hata family inaanzia tu hapo. Mnakaa chini mnaangalia. So and then emotion ndo inaharibu kila kitu. Like now it becomes a competition. Now because now you've moved on, you have another wife and kids. Now because now like you're saying I'm an entertainer, there's showbiz. Maybe zile nguo naenda kupiga nazo picha na nimeenda kuchukua kwa boy wangu. Unaniget, ali nimepiga picha alafu nimemrudishia makladi. Alafu unaona mtu ako na doo. Mtu ako na doo na si asubuhi hapa tunakunywa strungi, unaona? So hapa then unapata watu wameenda kwa mablog wameanza kukuanika, unaniget. So it becomes so unaanza kupanish msee, na labda msee anataka ku create image ndio hata akiraise pale kwa society, at least it is even better for this child. You don't understand? But if there's no that understanding and there's no proper communication, then easy misconceptions happen, and then at the end of the day ule mtuumia ni mtoi, si watu wakubwa. Big people can cope up, but mtoi hawezi. So I think watu wakiwa mature wanaweza handle the situation. Watu wetu emotions na waangalie interest za mtoi. And then vile umesema hiyo meme, explain hiyo meme that mtoi anakula pizza na wale wengine wanakula. Sasa ukiangalia kind of blended families imekuwa norm. Like you come with your 2 kids and I come with my 2 kids, as in blended family. So also people are doing things wameona wazungu wanafanya, because now internet imefanya the world has become one global village. So now huko nini Kilgoris huko kichakani, na wewe muona mtu mwingine yuko California States, just because anafanya hivyo unataka kufanya the same thing. No, hii society yetu kuna vile ina handle these situations. So usiishi life ya wase wengine, ishi life yako, unaniget? And whatever you do, hata unafanya nini, make sure it does not disadvantage this child.
Bottom line.
Don't usifanye mtu ndio akwe ball. Ati mnamcheza mnamkiki hivi na hivi. Mtu hii as in
mnamtumia kuumizana.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if we don't get careful, we'll become this generation that will raise up the most broken kids. Emotionally broken kids.
That's true.
We have to be careful.
You're using the child as a human shield between you two.
That brings me to the first question I asked. Are we using our children to fight our battles as parents? Is it now, have we decided this child, we are weaponizing the whole concept of bringing up this child? Because we can't force people to be together. Let's not live in utopia, okay? And also we cannot say that there won't be emotions when people separate. It is a fact that emotions will be there and people will misbehave. Okay, but in this misbehavior, what keeps you in check? Okay, we've said, well, let's be mature about it. Now there's a situation where two young people, actually this is Ombese that is asking, more life. There's two young ones that have
that are not mature.
That are not mature. Say, ni watoi tu wamemaliza shule nini, okay, wameshikana boy na dem, wampata mtoi. Unaget, wazazi wa dem wamekuja wamechukua mtoi na dota wao. Alafu sasa wameanza kupiga kijana pressure. Unaona, ni uprovide, ni ufanye hivi. In that situation, ni nani ana protect tu kijana?
Sheria.
And that's why that's why it's very important for us to collectively.
You've seen such cases.
Definitely.
You've heard about those cases.
Definitely.
Yes.
That's why it's very important for us to empower each other and consistently have these conversations, even amongst like young people and the youth, so that they know that they should be able to speak out and ask for help and reach out and find out process. Kama hizo vitu zote Jereva amesema, nimelearn so many things that sikuwa najua. Unajua, na kama singe maybe kaa kwa panel leo asubuhi, ningefikiria tu, the boy doesn't go to court, nini, but he's told me, you can go to court, you can follow this process, you can do this. So the boys who are at home and they're going through such situations, or the girls or whatever situation you're in, please understand that you do not have to suffer alone, and you can always reach out. Reach out to someone who you feel like might help you or might give you the kind of information you need to get the help you need. Usikae tu useme, hakuna mtu usikiza boy child, who's fighting for the boy child, because something that happens is no one is going to come and save you. Even us in our situations with all the education we have and all the sijui where, at the end of the day tunajuanga, ukiwa kwa ngori, lazima find nitafanya nini, what next, what is gonna happen. And if you're old enough to be making babies, you should start being mature enough to be able to make decisions, because life is just gonna come at you. No one is gonna tell you ati, sahi uko na mtoi, sijui nini. It is upon you to stand up and start learning this thing so that you can have the information. Go out and seek help. Now, si feel ati cause when boy hautaskizwa. Let's create an environment where we're able to listen to people objectively without judgment and without being like, mbona ulifanya hii, mbona hii ilifanyika. Vitus you happen, but now what do we do? And then as someone who's growing up, consistently try to improve yourself. It's very important. Not even for this oops baby that you've had, for yourself. Take care of yourself mentally, physically, in every sense, spiritually, so that as you grow and you want to do better for yourself, autoko unangoja baby mama akukol akwambia ati school fees haijalipwa. Because if you're taking care of yourself, you know that if I care about myself, there's no way I do not care about my kid. You take care of yourself.
Okay. Georgina, let me complicate or uncomplicate this situation, okay? Because you only bring up the issue, so let me bring it back to you. In a situation where I say you have 3 different baby daddies, okay? You have 3 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah, it is.
Like it is life.
Yeah.
You know? It is happening.
Yeah.
Okay? And baba wa watoto ndio wamekubali kutake responsibility. but hawako equal mapato. You get, kuna ule baba akona do, kuna ule mwenye hana do sana, kuna mwingine pia hana kitu kabisa, but anajaribungi. Kuna mtu wake, si ndio? So in terms of kupeleka watu shule, as the parent, maybe huyu baba akona do, ana feel mtu wake anaweza enda ile shule, yeye anaweza afford, which is an expensive school. Baba wengine wenye hana hiyo uwezo, hawana hiyo uwezo kupeleka watu hiyo shule. Wewe kama mzazi, sasa as the mother, what role do you have in all this? Because your children might, you live with these children. They'll be seeing this one goes to a bigger school than us, a better school than us. How do you now protect these children from that kind of torture?
Again, as a mother, as now the custodial parent of the 3, the responsibility here is protect my children against discrimination. So I will have to have a collective pool of money for every child to go to the same school.
But you're discriminating against the other child.
I'm not discriminating against anybody. Sasa, move to strike. It doesn't, because immediately he decides that he needs his child to go to, that school. I have to look at our really peer. Nasiati, what am I saying? All of them will have an education. Sawa?
Yes.
And all of them will have a good education together in the same school. As in, itabidata nitumie mabavu hapo, by the way. Now, I will not allow my child to, make it known that babake alikuwa ataka ende shule. No.
Yes.
Some information is just privy to me, not my children. So I will need to shield them from these discussions that I'm having with their fathers.
There's a point you're not, you're leaving out. Does this father have say in where the child goes to school?
He does have say, I agree. But also, I still have to make sure that these children are not discriminated against. I still have to make sure that they don't feel some type of way because their brother goes to Breban and they're going to Shule ya Kanjo. It is my responsibility to make sure.
It takes a lot of communication.
I want to get
all
feedback
parents,
from home.
all of you have to be people who are very willing to talk to each other and listen.
But
then again, why?
Hata mimi siwezi jibu hiyo swali because sina watoi, so siwezi ongea about imaginary kids. Sijui ndafanya nini in that situation.
All right.
But I see how crazy it can be. I don't know how a mom would navigate that.
I'm saying that because I'm a mom. I'm a mom of 2.
Yes.
As in, there's no way that information tunaongea na wewe. There's no way itafikia mtoto ati unajua babako alikuwa ataka kuenda shule.
Na baba mwenyewe akimwambia I wanted you to go to this school and your mom has refused.
Why is it doing that? That's
because childish of him. Exactly, but we accept that kuna watu childish kwa hii dunia.
Itakuwa hard.
Ibra. Mtu anasema aje nyumbani. Okay, let me read 1-2 SMSs hapa. Wacha nikaribie.
Tunasoma?
Acha nikaribie nione. Aya. Huyu anaitwa Marina KF. Anasema kids should be an aftermath of lovebirds. If there is no love, one parent will feel the impact, mostly the mother. Know your spouse well, be wise. Okay. At Ngeso_Jesse, the problem with this generation is that we are so fixed on perfection that we forget the sense of life. In this case, a man is viewed to be immortal and pregnancy is considered to be evil. Allah. At 5, Hamizi. This issue is dehumanizing. Children grow up with dilemma in mind. Never involve a child in your situations. All right. At Phillips 86, I think the law is not clear about what percentage should be baby daddy provide for the upkeep. We have to go for the irreducible minimum, basic needs like public hospital, public schools, etc. All right. At Mwasikitoko 13, for me things went rocky, but I had to step up for my daughter and do everything at the early age. But now she's in Form 1 and the baby daddy is taking care of school fees. And I'm like, wow, men are different. And sometimes women just mature up. Kwani iko nini? Niko na watoto tofauti. Mwasikitoko. Mama tofauti. Mwasikitoko say so.
Niko na watoto mama tofauti.
Now, at least mmeona feedback kutoka nyumbani. It's clear that we are not living in utopia. And that is the real happening kwa ground. Si ndio? But at the end of it all, mmesema, this is a dicey situation and there is no script. Well, the generations that come will have our script. They will say when it happened, this is what they did. But kwa sasa we are the guinea pigs. What we can try do mostly to you DJ Rev, tukua tumekufikia wewe.
Yes.
Kuna chali mwenye anataka, with the situation tuko tuna feel maboy wengi wana complain, wanasema they being made deadbeats because the moment they cannot provide that which the mother of the child is asking for, wana block you completely kuona mtoi. You know, get, you really wanted to be there for your child, you wanted to provide what you can, but because you couldn't provide as the mother wanted, they blocked you totally access from that child. In that situation, that a boy that has been put there right now, how would you advise them to navigate that situation?
First of all, I think, you see, it seems complicated when for a boy child, first of all, there's a big misconception that now when you go to a child custody case, most of the benefits are given to the mother. No, squeezing 50-50. And si lazima uanzie huko kotini, atumefile case kotini. Just go to the nearest police station. There is a section where they have where they talk matters kids. There's there. And after you've gone there, you've been advised, and if the case has gone to court, you have signed the affidavit of means, which shows how much I earn. How much I earn. You can never be asked to give more than what the court ordered you to do. You get. Then also, it is illegal as well to be blocked, as in to be alienated from seeing your kids. It's illegal if now somebody now actually, and going on the social media to call me a deadbeat or call somebody a deadbeat, that's a defamation. You can sue for defamation because if there's no sufficient grounds to prove this, that's defamation. So I think a lot of people do not know through which the boy child does not know through which other avenues where they can advocate their case and be heard. It's also, you know, also a problem about the society that we live in. Any case brought up about a boy child and the girl child, there's a presumption of guilt. You know, to the boy that enyewe umesema alifanya before hata mwenyewe utokeo useme by the way kwa hivi usha crucifyiwa kwa mtandao. You get, and that's the whole problem. And also before hata ifike kwa nini before ifike tu kwa as parents, you know, things are happening like we're saying. I don't try to envision a situation whereby everything is perfect, but things are happening. So as in for me what I will appeal to people is sobriety. Let's go for the right of these children. And get. So kama vile ulikuwa unaongelea hapa ati watu watatu kila mmoja akona fadhake na kilo fadhake akona do tofauti, zae akitaka kuchukua mtoto wake ampeleke Briban na wewe wako nani Shengesha primary school. There's nothing you will do. Atachukua mtoto wake apeleke hapo. Kama kotini mlienda mkanini, koti kamwambia toido atapeleka mtoto hiyo chuo. There's nothing you can do. So not unless mkae chini muongee. Lakini pia before ifike hapo, as a parent, before ni decide ndakuwa na watu waine na mabuda tofauti, so reflect, uangalie scenario before you come to play.
But tumesema vitu
life happen.
Exactly. Okay. As in, this is just an advice. This is just an advice. And then pia I think pia watu my last point is watu wakienda kotini wakienda kuargue cases za watoi ati this is the best interest for the child. Also as parents, people the people who in conflict, they try and camouflage their personal interest to fit at the child's needs or the child's interest. So I think upon a lot of as in whoever has the upper hand wins the case, but the child remains disadvantaged. Because it is always better that mtu yake raised na both parents. Kama iwezi, ongeeni tu kama watu wakubwa.
All right. Bobby. As we wind up, alafu mtu akimalizia anasema pale anapatikana, kuna madem wenye wanapitia saa hii that anafeel nilishikana na uchali, mimi tumebaki tumeachana, but mimi maisha yangu imestabu sana na have kulea sasa. Yeye anaenda kuendelea na maisha yake. like, but mimi nabaki na mtoi sahi hapa, so my life has to stop first to bring up this child, and there's bitterness that they're harboring bitterness in them. How would you advise such a person?
I'd say that now that you're a parent, you need to start being a lot more selfless, and you cannot pour from an empty cup. And I get the situation that you're in, and, you know, vitu happen, like vitu happen, and that's not just one form of trauma. Like, you could be okay, you have money, you can take care of your kids, and then something else happens. You get, so it's life and lessons. So I'd say instead of dwelling and sticking around in the energy that is making you angrier and bitter and mad and sad, hizo feelings zote ni valid, but as a parent, you can't be stuck there. Now you have someone else to start making decisions for, and you need to start taking care of yourself better so that you're able to be there for this kid. So I'd say if you're a mom who's in this situation, umefanywa mbaya, umeachwa, saizi niwe una take care of yourself, it's time to start healing and start moving forward. It's difficult, and when I say these things, saa zingine watu sema, oh, easier said than done. It's not easier said than done. You have to do it to see that it can be done. Because, see, there's a point you are grieving. There's a point you are in so much pain and you thought you'll never wake up. But see, you woke up, and it's been 3 years, and you're okay. Yeah. And then something else has happened again. So you need to trust yourself. And just the fact that you were able to give life, that already shows the kind of strength you have, and it shows the kind of things that you can do, and it shows that your power is infinite. So yes, while it hurts and it sucks and it's painful and it's bad and all these things, I'd say every day that you wake up, strive to improve yourself in the littlest of ways, whether it's in eating better or meditating or saying a prayer or taking a walk. Do something that improves you so that you're able to be more present as for yourself and as a parent for your kid.
All right.
Take care of yourself. It's very important, because ukiwa stuck kwa hiyo nini ya bitterness, ndo una fight na baby daddy over sijui nini, utajamu ukimwona na demu mwingine, utajamu ukimwona vacation, hizo na wewe realize ukiwa in this situation, you're not even able to be sufficient as a parent. You're not able to show up as good enough for yourself, because you're consistently stuck in this spot where you have to revenge and you have to stay mad so that you can get more money from this. Hizo vitu zote ni baseless. The faster you start working on yourself, the better you get, and the better your life gets faster. And then it removes you from this spot where you're consistently angry and bitter. And this goes for any other situation. Hata ukikosana tu na beshte yako, dem yako, nini uko nje, brother yako, anything. Try not to dwell, feel your feelings, and then start to move on, start to heal. Because world inasonga, vitu zinaendelea. Just because umekosana na baby daddy wako, imanishi hata oa dem mwingine mhot kukuliko, ama mwenye ana pesa mob kukuliko. Like, watu wanasemanga, life si Nigerian movie. Like, just because you hate me doesn't mean sitakuwa blessed. So remove yourself from that situation of anger and bitter and start working on yourself so that you can heal and be better. And do better for yourself.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Where do we get you on social media?
Roberta Bobby, everywhere. Kila mahali, Facebook, nini. And I have a podcast and I write. So follow my blog on loveandorgasms.com.
Kabisa.
Yeah.
Georgina.
Yeah.
Kuna watu wamefanya hii upkeep a business. Clearly. Like kuna watu wanaitishia maboy do. Just actually they are getting pregnant deliberately for people that they know have money.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And it's becoming a trend.
Yeah.
What would you say?
Just know and accept and understand that you're a criminal and you're a thug. That's who you are. That's who you've become. And you need to stop. It is unfortunate. But like I said, if that is happening to you as the parent, as a father, there is the law. You can take that woman to court because you have substantial grounds. You have, you have a case against her. So it's not all gloom and doom for you or for the person who is afflicted by this. And then as a woman, let's stop being greedy. There's a tweet I saw. if your name is so and so, noko kwa cyber cafe, jua kuna mtu umekumbuka?
Yes.
As in, I may change your school fees
Number
from
fees.
17,000 to, I'm like, wow.
78,000.
That is theft. As in, it's just criminal, you know. and that guy looking out for that person was amazing, you know. Let us take care of one another. I always say, and my mom has taught me, and also the Bible, you know, or whatever religion you're from, the greatest is love. And if you love one another, you do things. I do something that I would hope you would do for me. Unona. So I would not come and afflict you. I would not come and steal from you. I will not come and give you, problems, because I don't want that to happen to me. So the greatest of all is love. And then again, you have a child in the picture. Everything else is a non-issue. Let's take care of this child as we should.
True that.
Yeah, and everything she said was very beautiful. Again, my mom taught me the sooner you accept reality as it is, the better for you. These are the cards that you've been dealt with. You can't sit here and start wishing, I wish I had a different set of cards. No, this is what you have. You have to deal with it. You have to deal with the emotions, the bitterness, the anger. Put that aside and then work on yourself. And that way you blossom and you bloom and become a better person for yourself and also for the child that you're about to raise. Yeah.
And can the dads be more present so that they know the school fees is 17?
Right.
So that they're not
And at least know where the
told
school
it's
is.
78. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do we get you on social media?
Georgina Mbera, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yes.
DJ Rev.
Yeah, man.
Dad should be present to know the school fees is 17,000 and not 78,000.
Vile inafaa.
Yes.
Vile inafaa. But me, just to summarize this all, if you find yourself in this scenario, you find yourself in this type of situation, just heal yourself so that you will pursue the interest of this child without the filter of your wound. You understand? So you will be able to look at this scenario objectively and pursue the interest of this child. Unaona? Ni life imehappen. So usipanish mtoi. Unaona, usipanish mtoi through proxy mama yake, na wewe usipanish mtoi through proxy baba yake. Unaniget, unapanish mtoi unknowingly. Unaona? So just heal so that you pursue the objective and interest of this child without the filter of your wound. Yeah, man. Social media.
Yeah, man.
Me go by the name of DJ Rev, the Don Dada, Gabriel William Maunda, across all platforms.
True that.
Yeah,
as a DJ, where do you play? Like today, where do we get you?
Leo, ala. Leo tuko Coyote,
Yeah, man.
Wayaki we Westi.
True that.
#Reggae Brothers.
Mola you.
Yeah, man, alongside DJ Bling. Na kila saa tuko Hot 96 Sports Arena alongside this man John Kianda.
Mola you.
The sports guru.
Amazing.
Yeah, man.
Ndio hiyo sasa wadau mmesikia. Mostly mimi napendanga kukaa pande ile nichachisha because vile Sraburu decided I should be here and be the disciplined one. Well, this is what I'd want to tell you before tuondokea. In this life kuna vitu mimi ukama up nazo na kuna vitu naitaga the terrorism syndrome or the terrorism capture. In this life, before you decide to settle down with someone or create a baby with someone, remember this person lazima akue amelift maisha yake from point 0 to at least point 1. Because in an eventuality where this person and you break up, this person can decide to explode. Like the two can explode the two of you like a terrorist. But this person does not have anything to lose. What do they have to lose? They've never done anything in their life. But you have everything to lose. Okay? So that is like living with a terrorist. Do not accept that for you. Be a person that knows what they want. Be a person that is deliberate with success. Because success is deliberate. Taking care of a child should not be an obligation. It should be something you want to do, not you need to do or you've been forced to do. Because this child one day will grow up and there will be a generation that will come after you. You will be a grandfather because this child will grow up and get children. And your generation shall be the way you set the precedence today. So how you choose to set it today is all up to you. Your decisions of today will affect a generation hundreds of years to come. Tumalizie hapo. Facebook, Shataboy. Instagram, Shata_boy. Twitter, Shata Tikitaka. YouTube, Shataboy. Steve Jacob Maunda. Always follow Willis Raburu. Kila pahali Willis Raburu. Semwe CJ Atemo, Shazmin Bank. How bado wako holiday. Sisi tuko hapa tunaisukuma, au sio? Until next time, Muo live.